sitting on the floor. Why not, I guess. I wanted to have the atmosphere of coziness. Welcome, neighbors, to my channel. My name is Jerry Ellen. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Today's video, I'm doing 2 recipes. The first one is going to be tied to the second one. So I'm going to make a cinnamon roll recipe. It is my favorite. It's my go-to cinnamon roll now. I'm back to this tried and true recipe that's going to be the go-to hopefully for you guys as well. But anyway, cinnamon roll recipe. I'm going to have the bread maker help me out a little bit. And then I'm going to make cinnamon roll bread pudding. You heard me right. Cinnamon roll bread pudding. Delicious. It's quick, it's simple, and easy. I hope that you like today's video. But the video it's not going to be very long anyway. So I hope that you like it. I hope you stick around. And if you're not already subscribed, I hope that you consider doing so. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, neighbors, let's get this delicious, quick and easy cinnamon roll recipe started. I'm adding a cup of warm milk into my bread maker pan. The temperature of the milk is about 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Give or take, and I'm adding a cup of sugar to that as well. Now, neighbors, sometimes in my videos, some of them I don't remind people to make sure that their yeast is active. So how you can check that is just get some warm water and put a little bit of yeast in it with a pinch of sugar, and after about 5 to 7 minutes you'll see it bubbling and moving about and getting a little foamy and stuff, and then you know your yeast is good. So I'm going to add 2 1/4 teaspoons to the milk and sugar mix here of active dry yeast. So that's equal to 1 package. Yeah, and a lot of times the recipes that I use, they have water and not milk, and I'll just test it right in there. But when it's asking, or the recipe is calling for milk, I'll check the yeast on the side with a little bit of warm water, because you don't want to waste anything, you know, like milk and butter and lots of sugar and flour to find out that your yeast is not active. So just a friendly reminder. And now I melted some butter in my microwave, unsalted butter, but don't worry if you only have salted, because later on in the recipe they're going to call for some salt. If you have salted butter, just skip adding the salt to the recipe. So 1/3 cup of melted butter. And now I loosened my flour and I'm spooning it into my measuring cup and scraping off the excess. By loosening the flour and spooning it into your cup, you won't overpack your cup with flour, and it'll be more of accurate measure. So I'm putting in 4 1/2 cups of flour. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. I can't wait for you guys to try these 2 recipes that I'm sharing. I could have went to the store and bought cinnamon rolls, and certainly you guys can do that, no problem, but I love making things homemade. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to share the cinnamon roll recipe, and I particularly like this one because it has a brown sugar cinnamon mix in the cinnamon roll and the roll itself, which I like a lot better, the brown sugar mix, than the regular granulated sugar. Anyway, Jerry the Rambler, I just added 2 large eggs to this. Now, you can add the 2 large eggs to the liquid part of it, but if you're worried that your liquid might be a bit hot for your eggs, just add it to the flour. I do that lots of times and it works out just fine, so you could add it to the flour. And select the dough setting on your bread machine and start it. And when it's done, take it out, put it on a lightly floured surface. I'm using my silicone mat because it got the measurements and everything on it. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to flour the top of my dough as well. And I'm going to get rolling this out. And you're going to roll it out to 16 by 12 inch rectangle. Now I am Now I am smearing 1/3 cup of softened butter all over this beautiful dough. This is going to be your go-to cinnamon roll recipe. I'm not going back now. I used to make this one all the time, and then I've been trying other recipes and that, but I love this one. So you get that all spread on about, and then you get yourself a cup of packed brown sugar. You could use light or dark. A lot of times in my tin there, I have a mix of both. I buy whatever's on sale, and it goes into my old coffee tin there with a piece of clay to keep it soft. And to this brown sugar mix, I am going to add 2.5 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Oh my gosh, this stuff smells so good. Who doesn't love the smell of cinnamon? Ah, man, wonderful stuff. And give it all a really good mix about, and making sure that cinnamon is really mixed through that brown sugar really well. You know what we're going to do? We're going to put this all over the top of this bread dough, cinnamon roll dough that has the butter all spread out on it. Oh my. When I get onto the bread pudding part of the video, oh my gosh, friends, the bread pudding is so, so good. I can't wait, really, honestly, for you guys to try it. It would be great for Christmas brunch or going along with your breakfast. It's great for even a little dessert if you want it. And I'm not going to frost the cinnamon rolls because for the bread pudding, I prefer the rolls not to be frosted or glazed, if you will. But if they are, if you went to the store and you're buying them and they're glazed or frosted, don't worry about it. The bread pudding is still going to taste great. I just like using the non-frosted. Now, try to roll the dough kind of tight as possible. This dough feels so nice. It's a lovely dough. So anyway, you're going to roll that up, and then I'm going to cut as equally as possible. I'm going to cut out 12 cinnamon rolls. And I like placing them into a parchment lined baking sheet. And I try to have the seams, I pinch them a little bit, the seams, and I like facing the seams towards the bun, the roll that they're next to. And then it just kind of helps them stay nice and tight, if you will, when they're doing a rise. So I'm going to get all of these placed into the pan with just a little bit of space between each. And I'm going to cover them up with some cling film and a damp cloth and set them aside for like 45 minutes or so, depending on how warm your home is. You want them to get nice and puffy. You'll notice them being nice and puffy, and they almost double in size. And now I'm going to place them in the preheated oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit oven, or between 175 and 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, and now it's been around 25 minutes, and they are all nice and tanned and smelling amazing. I'm telling you, it smells delicious in this house. I just want to show you the inside of this. These are so good. I can't tell you enough how much we love these. Like, if you put these out, they're going to disappear in a heartbeat. But I need to make sure that I save some of them for our bread pudding. And drum roll, please. On to what we all been waiting for, the cinnamon roll bread pudding. I'm spraying my foil pan. I'm using a foil pan because I'm going to freeze 98% of this. So a 9x13 baking dish, spray it or grease it with, oil it up, whatever, with some good old butter or margarine. And you're going to add 4 to 4.5 cups of broken up bits of cinnamon rolls. So that's probably about 4 cinnamon rolls or so. And in a large measuring cup, because I'm using a large measuring cup because I'm just going to mix everything in this. But I'm going to add 2 2/3 cup of milk. And now I'm going to add 1/3 cup of packed brown sugar. And I'm also going to add 4 large eggs. Now, another thing that, if I can find it, that I add into the bread, the cinnamon rolls that are broken up in the pan that you see there, I like to add dried apples. So cut up bits of dried apple, like 1/3 of a cup or so. But the store did not have any, so I'm not putting them in this time, but I thought I'd let you know in case you can find them, because it does taste good in this. So I'm just going to mix the egg and the sugar into the milk really well. And now I'm going to pour this all over the bread mixture, and in a bowl over there, you see a little bowl, what I got in it. You can have crushed up or broken up walnuts, or you can have broken up bits of pecans or pecans. Is it pecan or pecan where you're at? What do you say? I say pecan, but I don't judge anybody that says pecan, you know, tomato. Anyway, you want a 1/2 cup of broken up walnuts or pecans, and you're going to sprinkle them all over the top of your cinnamon rolls, your soon-to-be bread pudding. And just let this sit for 10 to 12 minutes. And then after 10 to 12 minutes, I put it in my 350-degree preheated oven. So I'm going to pop that in. And you're going to bake this for 50 to 60 minutes. And I have it out and I let it sit. You let it sit for about 10 minutes to let it set up a little bit so that it's easier to cut portions. And this could easily feed 6 or have 6 servings, 6 to 8 servings of this. So I'm going to just show it to you quickly here. Now, doesn't that look delicious? It really does. And it tastes delicious. I love the texture of this. The outside has a little bit of firmness. It has a nice crunch with the pecans or pecans. And I'm just showing a bottle of Canadian maple syrup. Is there any other? You know, it's not maple syrup unless it's Canadian maple syrup, in my opinion. So put some maple syrup on it if you like. But the inside has a beautiful custardy pudding texture to it, and it's so good. Neighbors, I have to thank you again. I don't ever want you to leave my home without feeling loved, without feeling appreciated, and without feeling like you're welcome back anytime. I hope that you're all having a wonderful week or weekend, and thanks a lot for being here, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Peace, love, and God bless. Take care, everyone. Bye.